Today on 10-Minute IT Jams, we're joined by Gerald Faust, who's the Managing Director and CEO for Asia Pacific and the Middle East at SNP. With ESG a significant topic in today's enterprise climate, Gerald joins us today to discuss how companies can meet growing expectations and harness data. So thanks for joining us today, Gerald, and welcome to the Jam.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting me on this very important topic. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. So just to kind of launch into it, to give us an overview of SNP, for someone who hasn't worked with SNP before, what kind of infrastructure or resources do you have in the APAC market to help customers meet ESG needs?
Yeah, so at the core of what we do as SNP is we help our customers to derive more value out of their data, right? And that's primarily focused on the SAP ecosystem. Again, with regards to ESG, obviously data is the foundation to not only know where you are in terms of your carbon footprint, but also where you're going to go. And as we are present in the most important markets from China to Japan to Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, India, and the Middle East, still we are a mid-sized company. And in order to amplify our relevance for this very important topic, we work with the likes of SAP, the hyperscalers, and all the big SIs, whether they're advisory firms or system integrators.
Absolutely, yes. And communication is key there. In terms of how organizations can meet the growing expectations for ESG reporting, how do you think that can go about?
Yeah, that's a very important and interesting question, right? We know that ESG is very broad and has a very broad macroeconomic impact. But let's focus more on the microeconomic impact on a company. Right? And we know that just doing some reporting on a company level, driven by the office of the CFO, is not sufficient for the future. So we need to break that down. We need to break that down, not only a single group of people looking at, making it the responsibility for everyone within the company. As we used to say, everyone is focusing on top line. Everyone is focusing on the bottom line. I think now we need to embed the ESG topic into probably some kind of green line thinking and acting. And again, this cuts across the whole company, across all divisions, along the whole value chain, and then even beyond into your suppliers, into your distribution partners. So everyone is affected. And again, that's why the key role of data is absolutely crucial to get to this next level of granularity in reporting on ESG.
Yeah, and just following on from that, we're talking about data. What do you see as the importance of data for organizations looking to meet ESG goals and balance kind of the cost of data?
Well, the data is the foundation for it, right? And we know for product carbon footprint reporting, there are three different blocks of data you need to look at. Number one, you have raw materials coming from your suppliers. Obviously, you need to know what's the carbon footprint of all these raw materials you procure. Then you have probably different production steps within your company. This might go across factories. This might even go across geographies. And in our part, it goes across SAP or other IT systems. And that's what we need to bring together. And then there's the third category. How do you ship your products to the markets, to the wholesalers, to your end customers? And all of this is relevant in terms of reducing the carbon footprint. And again, for this, the data is the glue of everything in that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say modern, sustainable, intelligent enterprises look like in today's climate?
Yeah, look, that's a little bit of the summary of what we discussed already, right? So obviously, it needs to be open. Because again, carbon footprint reduction does not step at your company boundaries. It needs to be collaborative, because only if you know and if your suppliers reduce their carbon footprint, or your logistics companies or partners in distribution do it, and you do it yourself, I think then we get to a holistic reduction of this critical topic. Right? So again, it needs to be open, it needs to be collaborative, and data needs to sit at the foundation of it. Because again, this is what it's connecting all of us in order to make better decisions here for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And how can organizations harness data and technology to become a more sustainable, intelligent enterprise? Just in a broad summary.
Yeah, so again, what we do, first of all, we know that there's a gap between the aspirations of companies and where they really are today, right? And this is at the core of what we do. We help companies to transform the data, right, to manage the data again, and then apply it to business problems like product carbon footprint reduction. And in order to do that, we usually apply our software and scan then systems of SAP customers. We have done that a couple of thousand times, and we know, to give some numbers to it, we know that 60% of the data sitting in many SAP systems is of no value. We also know that roughly 70% of all the customizations, add-on programs built on top of the SAP solution is not in use anymore, right? So there's a lot of things, a lot of waste, we say, we can eliminate. But on the other hand, right, we see there's at least 40 or even more % of data which is of value for the future, right? The same applies to customizations and business applications built on top of that. And if companies now moving to the cloud, moving to the next generation of technology, it's absolutely essential that they are able to select this and move it over, again, in order to apply it to business problems like product carbon footprint emissions. So, and again, this is where we as SNP, together with our partners, are trying to help the SAP ecosystem to get from the execution where they are today to the aspiration of solving some of the big problems of this planet.
Fantastic. And just to kind of finish off, if someone wanted to get in touch with you guys to inquire about you're helping with ESG or any general SNP inquiries, how would they get in touch? Well,
snpgroup.com is the easiest way, but again, we have offices across the whole region, from Sydney to Tokyo to Shanghai to Singapore and Dubai. So I'm happy to get in touch with everyone who's interested to drive the discussion along.
Oh, fantastic. Again, thanks so much for joining us today, Gerald, and we really look forward to hearing more from SNP in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mitchell. That was a very interesting discussion. Thank you.